Alright guys, what makes a truly great Christmas cake isn't the icing or the decoration, it's the base. Get this bit right and the rest of your festive bake will be a showstopper. This one's a bit different for me in that it's got no alcohol to start off with, and I'm using a jar of mincemeat. I'm not going to put my usual menu up showing you all the ingredients as there's far too many, but I will put the whole list of ingredients and the method at the very end of the video. So for this cake you're going to need some plain flour, baking powder, fine sea salt, ground mixed spice, ground almonds, unsalted butter, demerara sugar, 3 large eggs, a jar of mincemeat, mixed dried fruit, glacé cherries, some stemmed ginger and some blanched almonds. You'll notice a little bag of pine nuts there. I didn't use those in the end. There was already enough in there. I'm using a 20 centimetre, that's 8-inch, springform cake tin for this one. Heavily greasing the inside of the tin. And you'll notice I'm not lining the tin with baking parchment this time, something else I want to try out. Around the outside I've tied a couple of old tea towels. Normally I'd use newspaper, but I don't have any newspaper these days, so I'm using old tea towels. The idea of doing this is to get the cake to cook really slowly. It's going to be on a very low heat anyway, and you'll see towards the end of the video I put a top on the cake as well to stop the top cooking. We get a nice flat cake. Time to weigh out your flour. We need 150 grams of plain flour for this one. No point sifting it. You can sift it, but all these modern flours are already sifted. There's no lumps these days. In with the salt. In with the baking powder. And quite a generous amount of mixed spice. 1.5 teaspoons. Give it a mix together. I find it easier to do this as you go along. I use my dinky little whisk for this. Then weigh out the ground almonds and add those. £125 grams of demerara sugar. I'm using demerara this time. You could use dark muscovado, but I think there's going to be enough intense flavour in the mincemeat, so I'm using demerara. The difference is muscovado's got molasses in it. Weigh out the butter and we're going to soften this in the microwave very quickly. And while the butter's in the microwave, give the rest of the ingredients a mix. Time to add the eggs. 3 large eggs for this one. And as usual, I keep saying this every video, I always crack my eggs into a separate container and then add them to the dish. Oh, bit of shell in there. 2 ways to get the shell out. You can use a larger piece of shell, or you can lick your finger and put your finger in and the shell sticks to your finger, believe it or not. In with the melted butter and time to mix it all together. I'm using my, what's it called now? Danish dough whisk for this. It's a funny looking bit of kit. It's basically 3 circles all made out of 1 piece of stainless steel wire. Very handy, especially for heavy, sticky mixes like dough. And in this case, a Christmas cake. I'll put a link in the description below for you. Get it all well and truly mixed up. Doesn't take long. This is real-time footage, this bit here. All done. Told you it wouldn't take long. Now it's time to add the mincemeat. Funny one this, we want 400 grams of mincemeat. The jar's 550 grams, so I left a bit behind. Don't know why that jar's so big. Normally they're 440 grams, and I would have put the whole jar in. Like I said at the start, it's a bit strange using mincemeat, but I tell you what, it smells like Christmas already. Weigh out your mixed fruit, dried mixed fruit. We want about 275 grams. I think the packet was 300 and something, so in the end I just put the whole lot in. No point saving the odd 50 grams here and there. Can't do much with it really. There we are, chuck it in. And don't forget, most of these measurements are pretty arbitrary really. It doesn't matter if you go 50 grams up or down on most of the bulk items. Like the glacé cherries, 100 grams going in. Doesn't matter if you put 75 in or 125 in. These were very sticky to chop up. We need to cut them in half. Yeah, I think I wish I'd done this a bit earlier actually. And speaking of sticky, oh my word, stem ginger. I used a piece in a recipe a couple of days ago and I forgot to wipe the lip of the jar. The lid had sealed solid. It took ages to get that jar open. I'll show you a tip in another video on how to open a stiff jar actually. Anyway, stem ginger, chop it into small pieces and into the mix, and then off to wash my hands. And on to the last ingredient, which is blanched almonds. So 50 grams of these. And we need to chop these up. Again, I should have prepped these beforehand, but it doesn't really matter. Nothing else to do on this day. Took a while to chop these actually. Maybe a bigger knife would have helped, Steve-o. This is why I didn't use any pine nuts, because there was enough nuts in there anyway. And it's back in with the Danish dough whisk. It made light work of it actually. If I'd have used a normal wooden spoon or whatever, would have taken a bit longer and probably been a bit more painful on my wrist. Right then, time to tip it into the prepared baking tin. Once it's all in, get a wooden spoon or a spatula, poke it into all the corners, give it a good prodding, get the air bubbles out, and sort of level the surface a little bit. Doesn't have to be too perfect. If it doesn't work out very well, you can always turn the cake upside down before you ice it. Another secret gone. I'm not quite sure how to finish this cake yet. I did royal icing a few years ago, very, very popular video, every Christmas that is. I did fondant icing last year. I think I'm going to do glazed fruits and nuts this year. Okay then, so on with a couple of layers of parchment paper. And what this does, it just stops the top from getting too brown while the rest of it's cooking. Then it's in the oven at 160 Celsius for around 2 hours. And as if by magic, 2 hours is up. It's cooled down a little bit. I took the parchment paper off for the last 30 minutes just to get the top a little bit brown. Lovely. Off with the tea towels that were around the outside. Glad I used old ones because they got a little bit singed, shall we say. They'll be all right though. Great for wiping the car down now. Pop the cake out of the springform tin, and now this is important. Let it cool totally. Don't do anything else until it has cooled totally. And then it's time to coax the base off. I didn't use any backing paper for this one, so I was quite surprised when it all came off like that. And now you can see what I mean when I say you can use the cake upside down. Be perfect. And when the cake is cold, and I mean really cold, it's time to wrap it for storage. You can either use a couple of layers of parchment paper with foil around the outside, but I've got this stuff called parchment paper with foil, so I'm using that. And I used a couple of layers in the end. And in it went to my cake storage box. Due to make an appearance maybe mid-December. I've decided not to alcohol this one. It's going to be a booze-free cake. Got to look after the grandkids, haven't you? There we are, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. Look after yourselves, take care, and I will catch you on the next video.